Hi, welcome back to my channel. So I was reading a sarcasm article earlier, and apparently Andy has been a huge fan of the show for years. So he has been an adamant fan of Love After Lockup and 90 Day Fiancé, and this can all be confirmed by his Reddit account that sarcasm pulled up. So they were able to find his Twitter account, his Instagram, and his Reddit account, which is all under the same username. I was able to check his Twitter out, but when I tried to look up Andy on IG, I realized he had blocked me. But this man has had no shortage of opinions on past polarizing cast members, and I'm not going to read every single Reddit comment he made, but I'm going to read a select few, and I do have to kind of censor some of them because some of them he just kind of went a little overboard. Also, he did say in Reddit comments that he was a former cop and he has a child who is half black. And this is both true when it comes to Andy, confirming even more that this is him. So when it comes to talking about Angela's friend Tony, he said that Tony was the king of all Sims and said it's pathetic how he's still chasing her around, and once you reveal your true feelings for someone and they friend zone you, it's time to face reality that it's never gonna happen. And I can't help but kind of see Andy as he's saying that comment. I mean, maybe he should take his own advice now. And this man had a lot to say about Michael Simmons and Sarah. So somebody was talking about Michael and saying that he manipulated Sarah, and so Andy responded, "What manipulation? She's a disgusting trash bag piece of ish hoe who's doing way more damage to those poor kids than she's helping them. She's just as bad as he is, and that's saying something." And then he also commented in response to Sarah posting a no filter photo to her haters, and he said, "Oh, poor Sa, you don't have haters, dear. You just have people that know you're an absolute waste of oxygen and vagina, and that your poor kids would be so much better off without you or Sixhead as their parent." I'm sorry, but there's a way to get your point across without being absolutely disgusting and vile in the process. It doesn't matter how annoyed you are by someone on TV. You should never take it that serious to the point that you're telling somebody that they're a waste of oxygen. That is just taking it way too far. And he had a whole bunch to say about Chevelle too. He said, "Wife and I have wondered the same thing. She's an unfortunate looking woman, a water tower head with no neck, and a stand-up freezer for a body. Bless her heart." Then he said she looks like Big Ed if he was a black woman. And I'm sorry, Andy, out of all people, he should not be body shaming anyone. And so someone else was talking about how Lindsay claimed that Scott gave her chlamydia, and he said, "Me thinks chlamydia ain't the worst thing she's had." And then when someone was talking about Derek's sister Elizabeth making fun of Monique's weight, he said, "That's rich, coming from a biological male in a hooker dress and heels." Then someone was talking about how Taylor, the one who's with Chance, is never putting her kids first. And he commented, he said, "Find one woman on this show that puts her kids first. You can't." So this man has been watching the show before I even started watching the show. My first season I started watching was Chevelle, Quaylin, John, Christiana, Lacey, John, and Shane. I started watching in 2020. So this man has been watching the show for this long, since the Angela and Tony days at least. And I'm sure many of you guys who watch my videos are on Reddit, and you guys have probably chopped it up and talked to Andy in the comments, or even argued, because he likes to argue with people. He was arguing with one person saying that he can tell the color of a person's skin just by the sound of their voice on the phone. I'm sure after his experience of being on the show, that probably ruined Reddit for him. So according to Sarcasm, they said that he stopped posting on Reddit in April, and that's around the same time he was spotted filming, because Sarcasm got some pictures sent to them of a guy talking to somebody else caught filming for Love After Lockup in April, and we didn't know who the guy was at the time. But then we were introduced to Andy and Brittany, and he started filming in April, and that makes sense that he stopped posting in April on Reddit. And from the sound of Andy's comments, he sounds heavily invested in the show. Like, I didn't even read a third of his comments that he left on Love After Lockup Reddit post. And he also is very heavily invested in 90 Day Fiancé too. He used to comment on the 90 Day Fiancé Reddit pretty frequently, but he hasn't posted on there in a hot minute either. So now that I know this information, I wonder if that's why he chose to hunt down Brittany on a pen pal website, so he could build a relationship to be on the show, because they were only dating for 9 months before Brittany got out. And it sounds like to me that Andy was a super fan and initially went and found an inmate so he could be on the show. And that's just my opinion after getting this info, because the man has never dated an inmate prior, wanted anything to do with inmates, and at least that's what he claims. And I'm curious how many women Andy was writing before Brittany, because I'm sure he had to shop around a little bit to find the perfect potential girl in his eyes with the soonest out date. Once he came across Brittany, who only had 9 months to go, he's like, oh, this is perfect. We can do love during lockup, then we can do love after, and then hopefully do life after. And he probably thought, since he's been watching the show so long, that he was going to come in and he was going to make sure he was nothing like all these people he was dragging on Reddit, and they were going to work out and be the perfect couple, and he's going to make sure Brittany looked like a amazing mom and he looked like an amazing father, even though that's the complete opposite of what happened. And it just makes me kind of roll my eyes a little more at Andy, because I feel like after watching the show for years, he should know better than anyone. And I just feel like he should have a little bit more sense and can see this girl is not feeling him at all. And now, you know, he's probably thinking, like, when she's clearly not into him and how things are going, he's probably like, oh snap, they're probably about to drag me to hell on Reddit. But that's it for this video, guys. I just thought that was crazy when I saw like all the things that Andy was saying. He had so much to say, and now look, he's going through the same exact things. So I did just now look, and I noticed he has deleted his account. So it sounds like he probably noticed his account was exposed, and he probably felt the pressure. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments below. Check out my lashes and cosmetics at AccordingtoAmber.com. I just launched some new lash glue, and I have some color-changing lip gloss and lip oil launching tomorrow that also doubles as a lip stain, and I have some big Black Friday deals coming up, so stay tuned for that. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.